like we never left, with a special guest that it's an honor to have him because he is very popular in Hialeah. We have Manny Reyes Jr., right?
Marcy, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good. I'm happy to be here.
I'm excited.
What an amazing job you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bringing awareness and your social media and your network is really flourishing. I see it's growing.
Thank you. It's hard, but we're getting there.
Absolutely.
With the main thing of our podcast and Miami-Dade today is to bring awareness and to stop corruption in Miami-Dade. And I feel like you are like, you know what I'm talking about because you're always like, yes, yes, yes in Hialeah. So it was very surprised that you announced last week that you're running for Hialeah.
Hey, no guts, no glory.
Okay.
You can't, no fear.
No fear, no mercy.
Nothing to lose. No, seriously. That's the way I wasn't always this person. You know, as a kid, you know, I was a kid of two parents that were very young. Mm-hmm. And my mom was 15 when she had me. My dad was 18. And they kind of grew up through me being their first child, but what can an 18 and 15-year-old do? Right. So I really had to figure a lot of things out on my own. Oh. And I wasn't always this kid, but then I learned that in life you have to take chances, Mercy.
Right.
And hey, win or lose, give it a shot. You never know what can happen.
You know, especially nowadays that I'm seeing more non-political people running. And I personally love that because you guys see it. You guys are going to be in the middle. You need two left, you need two right. You guys are going to be in the middle, and you can work with the community a little bit more because you're normal people. Okay, political people are normal, but some people, I've noticed in the board meeting, they're scared to talk to their commissioners.
Absolutely.
They're scared to talk to the mayor. So if someone normal is running, they feel a little bit more comfortable talking.
And when you say normal, is what I've been saying now for a while. I'm in the world of politics. I got into it about 5 years ago. It's a long story through Mayor Bovo. But you're right. I am one of the people. Right. That's what makes me different. Right. And that one person that's part of the people, I want to be the leader of the people. And that's what I've kind of become. Right. You understand? So you're absolutely right about having a normal person. Right. There to lead the people. Because I'm one of you guys. I'm one of them.
So what's your background? You were born in Hialeah?
I was born in Hialeah. As I was telling you earlier, my family came here from Cuba, 1966. Okay. They first went to Jersey. They had to go there first, and then they came down here, 69. My dad, my grandfather opened up the first Cuban bakery in Hialeah.
Oh, nice.
El Indio Bakery on East 4th Avenue. That's history that people just don't know sometimes, but it's on their website. So he was an entrepreneur right off the bat. I mean, he raised money, opened the first bakery in Hialeah. My father, at 19 in 1972, right next to Hialeah Hospital, opened up a karate school at 19 years old. Tells you a lot about how 19 years old thought back then.
Wow, yeah.
In 73, now a few months later, I was born right next to my dad, where my dad opened, and he's had that business now for 53 years. So I grew up two very young parents. As I say on when I put out my promo, I was born, raised, schooled, educated, graduated, built and made in Hialeah.
So you've seen Hialeah in the worst, from the
no, I've seen everything.
Everything.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Do you feel like Hialeah has like upgraded? Because I feel like when I went to Hialeah to actually speak to another candidate, I feel like I was back in my childhood. Like, I feel like nothing has changed. The streets were dirty. There was 3 businesses that looked like they were vandalized.
There are several parts of Hialeah that have not evolved, or sections of the city that now all of a sudden, since it was before Bovo, there's a lot of construction being done, a lot of things that are changing, and development and a lot of stuff happening. But you're absolutely right. Sometimes I used to think back in the 1990s in Hialeah, especially by 2025, we already look like you remember the cartoon The Jetsons?
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And the streets, which I've been doing a lot of videos on streets.
Yes, I've
that
noticed.
old neighborhood of mine, I'm on 47th Street. near 49th Street, which 49th Street is probably Hialeah's most popular street. 49, right?
That's 49 Ave.
Yeah, that's Lejeune. No, that's Lejeune and 149th.
Okay.
I lived right there many years. My dad bought his first house there, 1979, and we lived there till 1993. Those streets, Mercy, I could tell you right now as a witness of that, because I used to jog the streets. I used to ride bike there. Those streets were patched up, por arribita type of, but never fixed like they are now.
Yeah.
Now they're being really fixed. And that comes as a result of people like me that put the pressure on the mayor, put the pressure on the council, and finally we got it done.
So what got you or motivate you to run for mayor for Hialeah?
I've always loved my city. About 5 years ago, I had a friend of mine introduce Mayor Bovo to me, and Mayor Bovo had just lost to Levine Cava,
right?
With the county,
right.
He had just lost.
Lost, or you think they?
No, he lost.
Yeah.
She beat him. I think. I mean,
I'm saying that because it happened to. We noticed that there's a lot of fraud going on. That's why I'm asking.
Let me tell you something about you know, I told you I'm an ex-professional fighter, right? And I'm gonna tell you something. Having fights that I've had, sometimes you could lose, but you can still win. As I'm gonna do with this election, I don't know, I may lose, but I'm still gonna win. I'm gonna come out as winning.
Right.
With Bobo's case in that time, maybe, you know, like, hey, you know, Lavinka won, but really, you understand, just because, like, the voters, like in a fight, 3 judges say, oh, this guy won, but to everybody, to the people, you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So something like that.
It's a win-win or win-lose. If you do good campaign, you're gonna build up a community and support always. And if you lose, you're still gonna win.
I had a fight in town at the American Airlines Arena, an MMA fight with the Ultimate Fighting that I lost. I lost a decision with those 3 judges. 2 of them gave it to the guy. The other one gave it to me. It was a split decision. I think you've heard of that before. But my trainer said, Manny, don't worry about it. Those 3 judges or whatever, they called it for him. Right. But these set 10,000 people here, you were the champ. You won. Right. So it's something like that. But I got into politics about 5 years ago. Long story short, I brought in Mayor Bovo to help him when he went up against Isis Garcia, and I ended up helping him. I gathered all the martial arts people. Having my father, Manny Reyes Sr, being the icon he is in our city, and martial arts, with what martial arts does for my dad has had attorneys, police officers, firefighters. Imagine, you're 53 years in business.
Right.
You've a cousin, a brother, they've all come back to him.
Right.
So what happens is I gathered all the martial arts people, and we made sure that would never have voted, and we made sure that they voted for both. And he won unanimously. And I became good friends with him. A couple of years later, I started attending meetings. I did go out for council twice.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. I want to put that on the record. But they were not normal elections. They were emergency elections where, for example, like when there was a candidate that was dismissed she got in trouble, or so on. And I put my name in as a candidate. Before that, there was another candidate that decided to resign. And what they do is they hold a special election where the council members, the mayor has no say, but the council members are the ones that decide. If you get 4 out of 7, you know, but I didn't win. I took second place in both. Although I'll tell you this, Mercy, to be honest with you, they handpicked those people. They have this general special election, and you go and you turn in your papers, and I'm going to be straight honest with you, and I hope you put this out there. Those people were already handpicked.
Yeah?
They were already handpicked. I was told this. I didn't want to believe it. I confronted Mayor Bovo about it. He's not going to admit it. I confronted his people about it. They're not going to admit it, but they were already handpicked. All right? And that's what happened.
So you've said a couple times in your Instagram that you helped Bobo with his election.
Absolutely did.
Were you hurt that he announced that he's leaving to Washington? Or did he sit with you and say, look, as you know, you helped me so much, I'm mayor today, I want to talk to you, or you just found out by the news?
No, I found out later on. But it hurt you. I saw it coming.
You saw it coming?
The thing is, I saw it coming. I saw it coming because, unfortunately, politicians, it's part of the politics.
It's a house of cards. I'm watching that show and I feel like it's like the real thing.
It's a lie. They lie a lot.
Yeah, they do.
They lie a lot.
But I felt like that hurt you when he.
No, it didn't hurt me because I
like a betrayal.
It didn't surprise me. It didn't surprise me like it surprised others and left everybody, dumbfounded. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because he did say he wasn't leaving. He was going to finish out his term.
Right.
You can't do that. Listen to me, Mercy. I'm going to tell you something. And I want the whole world to know this. In life, you can't write a check you can't cash. If you write a check or if you say something, you better follow through with it.
Right.
Because what happens, I tell this to all my students, all my people, you lose credibility.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment he did that, he lost. And then he did some other things that from talking to the people of the city that really bothered, with the pension and everything.
I was gonna ask you, as a mayor, would you stop the pension or because he's leaving with a salary of a mayor?
Yeah, but he's also for life. He did life. Carlos Hernandez and Raul Martinez.
So if you get elected to be mayor, how can you stop that?
That's a good question, Mercy. That's a good question. That's something I would have to ask my legal people and how my team, my support team, to see how that's something that, because why? I mean, what merit these mayors assigning themselves, and then they got the council that voted for that, and they were approved.
Right.
For the rest of their life, I believe it's $190,000. For the rest of their life.
Then it's coming out of your tax pay.
Yes.
So,
why?
Right.
What'd you do? You were here for 3, so you left, and yet, I don't know. It's a very, very, very...
I know. Yes. You have time to think. What do you believe are the top 3 issues facing in Hialeah right now, and how do you plan to address them?
Wow, there's a lot of issues. There's not only 3. There's a lot of issues.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one of them. Okay, so when I post that I'm interviewing people, I always ask the public people to ask questions. And right now, what people are in Hialeah are complaining about is the taxes and the water bill.
The water bill's been a problem for a long time, Mercy.
So, right.
Since I was a kid, I'm going to tell you that.
And I just found out that Hialeah has their own water plant. Like, you don't have nothing to do with Manny.
You just found that out now?
Yeah. Yes.
Really? Oh, no. They did. Even though the mayor wanted to give it in to, I don't know if you know this, to the county. Mm-hmm. For them to, yes, you're absolutely right. The water is extremely expensive.
And the majority of the people work all day, so how, they just go home to eat dinner, take a shower, and go to bed and to go work. So as a mayor, how will you address to help them at least with the water? Well, there's 5,000 problems, but the main problem that I got, like the main question was the water and the electricity bill. As a mayor, how would you address that?
The water, there has to be a thorough investigation on why. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. Something not right. That's true. But I've been hearing this since back in the 90s. This is not new.
For me, it's new because I'm doing the podcast now, and you guys are talking about
absolutely.
it.
But that's an issue that's been, and I don't know if the city and the water are working together on something like this. The electricity, I can't really tell you. Much because the electricity that's controlled by Florida.
Right.
But the water, think about it. It's controlled. It belongs to the city.
Right.
You understand?
Hialeah has their own water.
Has their own water, absolutely.
So there's something they have to
investigate.
Something that has to be investigated. Absolutely. Maybe the tax money, I don't want to say it, the corruption.
No, you don't know what's happening. But if I was to be elected mayor, I will get down to the bottom of it. That I can tell you.
How do you plan to engage with the community and ensure your voices are heard in your administration?
How do I plan to?
I think you do a good job on Instagram.
I think I'm doing okay. The people are, to be honest with you, I put the people first. Because I'm one of them. I'm one of them. And I've been the highs and I've had the lows. Mm-hmm. I've been up and I've been down. Just like them. I've had my pressures. I've had my concerns. I've had my times where I've been in struggle. There's a lot of things that I can identify with the people. The people just need hope. They need something. They need hope. They need something different. They need something that is, because they're predisposed.
Right.
They think they say politics and politicians. Oh, this guy's crooked. He's a
Right.
crook. That's all this. It's all
Yes.
fixed. That's the problem.
That's the
they
big problem.
need a normal person
Right.
that has the leadership that I could bring to them to guide them and support them, and listen to them and really follow through. Because you let
Right.
those people down, you have a short leash
Right.
with them trusting you.
Correct.
The moment you mess up, that's it.
it.
You lose it with them.
Yes.
So right now, I got the people behind me.
What strategies do you have in mind to promote growth and attract new business to Hialeah?
That's a very good question.
I've noticed when I went to Hialeah, a lot of the warehouses were closed.
Yes.
So when I was younger, my parents were like, "Oh, we're gonna do your birthday party, pero tenemos que ir a la factoría Hialeah because
I
it's
was
cheaper."
actually there yesterday.
Right,
Absolutely.
right. So and I've noticed, I think with your video, you talked to there were some of them were closed. What will you do to attract them back to come to Hialeah?
You have to give them hope, and you have to give them a vision. And once again, to bring back and believe it or not, they have a song about Hialeah with that factoria and this and that. That's what made Hialeah.
Correct.
Like in Jersey, I don't know if you know about the factories, and that's what made Hialeah.
Right.
That's a section that should be very, very thought about, because those people are the hard labor people that really created Hialeah. How I would bring that back? That takes a lot of planning. You have to have a lot of. You have to get the community together, right? That's involved in that, and try to bring it back and give them some kind of hope. And with all the money the city has, I would give them money to relaunch whatever they got to do. Because I would, because there's so much money.
Because it's so hard to open a business in Hialeah with all the permits and all that stuff. It takes time.
They've made it so difficult.
And once they're ready to open, they don't have no more money.
Yeah, and it's a hit or miss now. It's not like before.
Right.
Before, I remember when family members of mine would open up a business, they had time to build it, and they succeeded. But now, it's a hit or miss. It's a gamble. When you open up a business in Hialeah, it's a serious gamble, and it brings stress. The way the economy, especially the last 4 years with the disaster that occurred here. Yes, it's tough.
Right.
People are like, if they have something secure, they're gonna settle. People nowadays don't take that leap to say, like my dad did, or they want to own a business.
Right.
Because it's too risky. So if they got something stable, they're just going to stay there. But, see, I'm not the settling kind. I want more.
Right. How do you plan to improve safety and address crime in the city of Hialeah? So, I don't know, like Miami Day today, we've been posting. I hate posting those kind of videos, but we do it for awareness. Hialeah has a high crime, and it's right now because of immigration. So, a lot of Cubans... Unfortunately, me as a Cuban, I think you're a Cuban too, right?
Absolutely.
It's sad to see all these crimes that's happening in Hialeah.
That's fine, but listen, I respect what you're saying with Hialeah, but I'm going to tell you something. I don't know, it has to be true. Hialeah, the city of Hialeah, in the whole United States, was voted number 53 the safest. Why? I mean, you're telling me something that's kind of surprising me right now.
Okay.
Yes, there's a lot of, which I'll get into that.
Okay.
There's 200,000 residents living in the city of Hialeah, but 3,000, but 2,000, there's 100 that are illegals here. This we figured out through me being around the city. But let me tell you something. George Fuente, the chief of police, who I went to school with at Hialeah High, he's done a great job. I gotta give him that. Bobo did the right move to make him the chief of police. And for whatever reason, Hialeah is the 53rd least crime state in the whole United States. We're not just talking Florida now.
Okay.
So that's going in the right direction. So and also, before he came into play as the chief, there was a lot of bad happening. In fact, when Bobo took over office in Hialeah, he immediately fired the police chief that was there. Then he did a search, and this guy won. Out of 32 candidates, he won.
He won. Okay.
He won it fair and square.
Okay.
He was the right guy. Now, you're asking me what I would do? I have a couple things I would bring back, but he's doing a great job, George Fuente.
I heard there's not enough police officers in Hialeah.
I don't know about that, because I'm around the city a lot. And I can tell you that at night, they're all over the place. And Hialeah police, at night, he has them stationed right.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, there we have a little bit of a difference because I live there and I'm telling you that if it was something wrong, I will call them out.
Right.
They know it too.
So you do think crimes have gone down?
Well, it's a statistic that came out all over the United States on USA Today, only in Dade. I don't think they will put that out there. Hialeah being the 53rd safest city in the United States, not just Florida. If that was a lie, I don't think they're gonna lie.
No, I know.
So he made it turn around because before that was different.
But there is crimes. There is increasement in crimes, and unfortunately, like an example, we just posted a couple of days ago 2 women that were stealing in Hialeah. They were working Fed Mas.
Okay.
They're from Hialeah, and they were telling family members to come, and they didn't charge them like the full price. So if you had a car of $1,000 worth $1,000, they only charge them $300. As a mayor, do you get involved with all this stuff that's happening? Or?
That's fraudulent. That's fraudulent. That's stuff that goes on in a lot of places.
Yeah, I know.
You understand? I mean, that could be. But when you talk about crime, you talk about people getting raped, kids being abducted, crime stealing, like they used to do back then. They steal the rims of cars.
It's happening here in Kendall.
You understand? Yeah. But let me tell you that I'm going to tell you. A lot of crime has gone down since we've had this chief take over.
How about as assistant, as helping in the community of the HOA? HOA is
the housing.
The housing.
Of course, yeah. The housing's a interesting subject because I have tried while I was with the board that Mr. Bobo put me on the preservation board of Hialeah. I attempted to help a lot of people with housing. People that needed it. Now, I don't understand how some people just, didn't have to wait too long. Yet, I was trying to help these people, and I'm trying to word this right. I was trying to help these people that really needed it, and they never got the help.
Right.
Yet, I would see others not too long after and the housing thing, it could take up to 1 year, 3 years, 6 years, even 10 years that you could be on a waiting list.
Right.
And it's just not fair. By that time you're done, I mean.
Well, you're talking about the low income apartment.
Yeah, low income and the housing situation. Okay. That's it. It's a lot of it. It's honestly it's who you know. On both ends.
It's sad that you're saying that because I see
on both ends, on the low income and on the housing. It's who you know.
It's who you know to get into the low income?
Pretty much. Pretty much. I know employees of the city that were, you call it hooking up their people. So
now that you're running for mayor and you know that, will you be stopping that or you be talking
I can't stop what already happened.
Right, but for like example, you get into office tomorrow.
Absolutely.
At 9 o'clock in the morning, at 12 o'clock, you're gonna sit down with everybody, and we need to focus on this and.
Mercy, I have a guy on my team that is like an Elon Musk. He's gonna break down every single thing that's wrong, like what you mentioned about the water, what you mentioned about corruption, where money's going, where this is going, where that's going, people. That's gonna happen.
Hialeah was the first ones to call Dodge to come down to my.
Yeah, but that's all propaganda. That's just a publicity stunt. What happened after that? Did you hear anything else after that?
No.
So they make a lot of times in Hialeah they do these little
press conference.
Yeah, propaganda as they call it. And then they never follow through with anything. That's the honest truth. That's what bothered me. That's why I separate myself from this. But no, it wasn't about. I resigned in 2024, and I joined this organization called the People's Organization of Hialeah. Right.
But they support you and 100% of everything you do.
Yeah, they needed something. There was the people, and they govern themselves. They don't care about Bobo. They don't care about the commission, about the council. They don't care about the city like that when it comes to what they do. But they care about a better them, what they can control. So I started getting involved with them. Bobo got a little bit upset with me. That I left, and it's one of those things where you just drift away. You don't really communicate anymore. The council also turned their back on me. There's a lot of council members that turned their back on me when I joined that organization, and that wasn't too long ago. We're in April now. That was at the end of December, so that's where I'm at with that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I could care less about any of that. I mean, it doesn't matter. What I want is the best for our city and for our people. Yeah.
How do you plan to improve education and resource for schools in Hialeah?
That's a good thing, because education has to do with the public school system.
Right.
Which before he left, I met with Albert Cavallo, who was the superintendent of Miami-Dade.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that Hialeah, the city can't. When it comes to kids' education and stuff like that, all the way up to high school, there's nothing really you can do. They follow a board. It is what it is, and then you have, your state regulations for education-wise. Now, what I would do though is for the people that are coming here, they're here. You don't know Cubans or any country have come here, and they've lived here for 30, 40 years, and they don't know how to speak English. What happened? Why? They didn't try. They didn't. I would try to do something where people to make it easier for them to get involved and learn the language and get more involved education-wise on how to not just go find a job. Oh, I don't know, you probably remember this. Oh, if you can get a city job, you don't have to go to college. Once you're into the city, then you can work your way up.
Right.
That mentality.
Yeah. All my life I've heard that.
God, come on.
Once you get a job in the city, that's it.
Once you're in, it doesn't matter. You can start out with the garbage, but then work.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just there's different things I would do when it comes out to educate the people on maximizing. I believe in maximizing your potential. Now, there's people are going to be what they're going to be, but you choose. At the end of the day, you choose that, right?
Yeah, of course.
Has nothing to do. You choose. You write the book of your life, right? So, yeah, that's something I'll do better. But for education with the kids, we're under the system of the state and this.
With all this immigration problem that's going on, as a mayor of Hialeah, how will you tell your people to calm down, or are you going to be strict with them too? Because, an example, there was a lady that is from Hialeah, we put her in Miami-Dade today actually, and she goes every Sunday to Cuba and comes back on Thursday, and she's from Hialeah. She goes, Hialeah, a mí nada me pasa, yo voy y entro cuando me da la gana ir a Cuba. As a mayor, will you be posting something to get that a little bit awareness of putting a little bit tighter of immigration, or what is your plan?
I'm a little bit confused with the question you're asking me. You talk about?
Okay, there's a video in Miami-Dade today.
She's going to Cuba
every weekend. Every week she goes to Cuba.
And she leaves from here.
And she leaves from Hialeah. I
had no idea that you could fly to Cuba from here, from Miami International.
Right. She goes every Sunday to Miami International.
I thought that was cut off. I thought you had to go to Mexico and then.
No, well.
No, that's an interesting. Yeah, see, I didn't know that. See,
yeah.
That I didn't know. And she posts this?
I actually posted on Instagram.
Really?
In Miami-Dade today, and I asked for people's opinion. She goes every Sunday.
And what does she do there? Okay, so immigration-wise, what is that?
She says there's no problem. They look at her passport, they stamp it, and she comes in Miami on Thursdays. She's been doing it for months.
And she lives here, though?
In Hialeah.
And she's a resident?
Yes.
She's a resident, right? She could do that. Mm-hmm. I had no idea that you could fly to Cuba like that, and she flaunts it too, right? Mm-hmm. Wow, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I think they're called mulas. I think when you pay them to take stuff to Cuba.
Okay, so it's a business.
It seems like it. She didn't put too much details. I know she put her face, so maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's also like una agencia of.
Yeah, that my dad's one next to the school.
Cuba Max.
Yeah, exactly.
Cuba Max supposedly works for the dictatorship of Cuba.
Really?
Supposedly, as a mayor, were you doing an investigation if the community asks you to do it?
If the community asks me to do something like that, because you gotta understand that the Cuban topic, especially to parents like ours and that generation, is very sensitive.
Right.
You understand?
I know.
You can have a person turn on you if you support anything that has to do with Cuba.
Right.
So, yes, of course, I would listen to them. See, but I can't be a dictator either. say, hey, you can't do this. But if there's laws that I can use to stop certain things, of course I would do it. Of course, I don't want to help them. You know, my I never forgot my grandparents' struggle. My grandparents were rich in Cuba. They were well off. To come here with a briefcase, it's tough to lose everything and then be mocked and laughed at and they. The funny thing is, they thought they were gonna be able to go back, but never happened. They passed away already. It's a long story, but that subject is very sensitive because, like I said, you don't want to get caught up in, you know, anything.
But you're willing to do an investigation.
Absolutely, like what happened to Obama when he did what he did. That was the end of that with him, and then the Cubans. They here, especially here in Hialeah, Miami. Yeah, when he did that thing of making trying to mend things with the Castro regime. Oh man, that was really bad. Yeah, that was really bad. But yeah, absolutely, I would. Absolutely, I would. All that stuff that's going on. Igual que there's I'll tell you this, that I also found out. There's people that have come here from Cuba that lived here for a while. Like they thought they faked they were gonna move here. They got the food stamp card, and they went back. Yeah, and they're still getting those benefits. How? Right. See, those are things I would definitely, especially here in Hialeah. Yeah. See, I can't control the whole world, Mercy.
No, I know.
But I can control what I can control. Right. That I can do. Right. But yeah, if that was something I'm here, I find that out. Believe me, there's always ways to trigger people to give in, because you understand, and I will figure that out. Because that's wrong. That's really wrong. Stuff like that really wrong.
Yeah. They get food stamps and they get it deposited and they get money too and they get it deposited in their accounts and they go to Cuba and they live in Cuba.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've heard
that's
that too.
Terrible.
What is your long-term vision for Hialeah and how do you plan to achieve it?
There's so many things, Mercy. It starts with the youth. It starts with the kids. It starts with the kids. The homeless, which I've been doing a lot on the homeless. Yeah. There's so many things. They call it the city of progress. I want to see it progress. It has in different areas, but like what you mentioned earlier in the show, there's a lot of things that have not evolved. Right. You understand? I see some of the streets being, I want to take care of the kids. We need the kids to go back to the parks. Yeah. Like it used to be. Yeah. Bobo tried. And I gave him advices and this and that when we spoke and we were brainstorming, but it didn't work out. Now, before Bobo, the previous mayor, the parks were dead. The grass, it was like the world had ended, it seemed like. Totally different from when I grew up. The parks need to get better. The adults that are, they used to have bingo places and they don't have that anymore. Now they do it in those
adult daycare.
Yeah, but it's not the same. Right. We need to bring back that for the adults. We need to have more activities for people. Like I know that there's a not a councilman, a commissioner that does events at Amelia Earhart Park, but I don't know, that there's not much going on like they used to be. The businesses are the 49th Street, for example. Look, remember when I was a kid, there was no Chick-fil-A, there was no Olive Garden, there was no Longhorns. There are a lot of things in Hialeah that are good. Do you understand? But my vision for the future is to progress the city forward. See, I was reluctant to do any of this. I didn't want to do this, but there's so many. It's like, you remember Troubleshoot? We need a mayor that could troubleshoot the city. It starts out so good. Everybody comes in, starts out so good with all these promises, and it looks like it's gonna, and then all of a sudden it's like you build up all these things, the dominoes, and it all falls, and then you gotta start again, and it's gonna, and it's gonna happen. Yeah. And it's happening. And it doesn't stop.
Yeah, and what bothers me the most as a concerned citizen is just the recycled politician is what drives me insane.
It's not.
So like right now, the commissioner that's in Miami-Dade is running for Hialeah.
Right.
And
right.
he's getting support from Bobo.
You're talking about the one that signed up the day after I did it. Right. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got in his head on that one. That's for sure. And I told him, too. Because he started following me on Instagram.
He looks at your stories.
He looks at I saw it this morning. Hey, this guy, that means I'm in his head. So I already won. Mm-hmm. See how it works? Then there's the other one. I can't feel sorry for him. Yeah, I do. And if he used to win, I'd support him. Because he did have some guts, and he went out on camera and exposed some of the things. And that I'll tell you. Yeah. Even though, like, when people unfriend me or they block me, I think that's cowardly.
Right.
That's not a man's thing to do.
I hate that too.
Yeah, but it's okay. Hey, every time I look at this person, they know. The thing is, he would never come and talk to me like a man, sit down and say, hey, let's talk about what like he's supposed to do.
Right.
See, I'm old school. But then again, he's young. And again, I feel sorry for him, especially lately, man. God, he lost that one election to that guy that can't even speak English properly. And that was kind of embarrassing. Seriously.
You're talking about the tax...
The tax thing, yeah, that was an embarrassing loss. Horrible. Yeah, we had another council person. And I told her too. Because she ended up being a lot of hypocrisy with me when I thought she was going to be my friend. There was a council member a couple of years ago that lost to a criminal that had all kinds of fines. And she got defeated. This is the stuff I want to stop. This criminal that had a criminal record, domestic violence, and drunken driving, she got elected council member and defeated a lifelong council member that was there. And that was, my God, and that was a huge upset. That was an embarrassing way to go, man. If you're going to go, no wonder she just disappeared completely. And just completely disappeared. And it was embarrassing. And like this one person that we were talking about, I feel really sorry for him. I really do. Young guy, he's goofy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But he had the guts to do some things that I liked. So he used to be elected.
He confronted the mayor.
He did.
And he came on the news.
And it was all true, even though the mayor lied and he covered it up. Because it's all a cover-up at the end of the day. Let me tell you. And the other one, that's also running for mayor, that's a county commissioner.
Right.
Yeah, he's a recycled politician. Old. He plays the great card with the old people.
Right.
So they fall in love with him.
Yeah. But he's been exposed 2 weeks ago with the show of Otaola.
Oh man, yeah. See, I don't have to say nothing.
Right.
Mercy, I don't have to say nothing.
Like that video of him telling people to be quiet, it just made me super,
of course.
mad. It just it boils my blood.
Listen, I know things about that candidate that while he was married and meeting with other women for lunch and saying whatever you want, and the intent was to eventually have something with them behind the scenes. That's an honest truth, I swear on my life. That happened.
So you're saying that the candidate...
I know a person that he did that to. Tried to get with, and he knows who it is. He knows who it is. He knows exactly who it is. He knows exactly who it is. And if he ever wants to confront me, be a man. So stop following me behind the scenes.
Do you have proof and
I have proof. I have the person. So
you're saying that candidate was married, and he wanted to be with someone's partner.
That's multiple times, but I got one. I got one that could tell you, and 100% factual. Hey, let's have some coffee. Let's meet. He's married now. Let's have some. Hey, you're beautiful. Whatever you need, please don't hesitate. Of course, you're throwing the bait to see if she bites to eventually do what you gotta do. Hey, I'll tell you another thing about the Hialeah City Council. I had a person, a female. Now, she's going to be the interim president when Mayor Bobo leaves on the 27th of April. Okay? Wanting to help me. We were at the Donald Trump rally in the Mylander Stadium. November 8th, 2023. I'll never forget. I was with my wife, Lucy. This woman's standing there talking to me. And Lucy's next to me here. Lucy, my wife with the red hair. All right?
Very pretty.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, ooh, I won the lottery with her. Tell you that much. I wouldn't be here. I'll tell you a story later about that. How her and I've known her for years. I'm standing here. She's talking to me about, oh, I have to get my son into karate with you. You should be here in Hialeah. I had already been let down by the park director already. See, I should have had my program. I have a program called Life Enrichment. Martial arts life enrichment for kids. It's not about violence. It's not about breaking bones. Not about killing people, hurting people. It's about enriching their life for the future. Positiveness. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, and with Mayor Bowl and everything, nothing. I'm like, why? I tried for a year to get into the city, bring this program to help these kids. She's taught, we need to get you in, Papa. Let's meet. Sure, let's meet.
Niño, ten cuidado lo que vas a decir.
No, let me tell you, don't do that in the record where you put it up or not. Whatever you want. This is the honest truth. I meet with her. When you meet with a person, and a female, being that I'm a male, and she's telling you about her personal life. Oh, I need to do some training too. Will you train me privately? You do private lessons, because I do. I train people, obese people, or people need to stress. I do a lot of things. But she's telling you that. And, then she's talking about her personal life, how unhappy she is, how, she needs something like me to...
She wants to sleep with you?
Well, I'm trying to get there.
Oh!
What do you think? Uh-huh. Oh, do you think you could, we could meet up? And so I meet her again. Here I am thinking, this is just for her. I'm trying to get in here. Because she's really advocating for me to have this program for the city. We need you. I also train special needs. See, I work for Barry University. I work for Miami-Dade County Public Schools. How could you not have your one guy that was born, raised, and built in Hialeah? They're doing that for the kids. It's not about the money. I wanted to do something that made an impact for my father has a school. And when I put a stop to that, out of respect to my wife, I can't do this. Now, I get in bed with her, I would have had anything I wanted. I would have probably been voted in as a councilman later.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. She needed, and that's, like I said, you see how that other candidate, the woman I know, he tried to get with her, even though he was married, and now Taola exposed him as something else. I mean, hey, to each their own. It doesn't matter. Right. That's embarrassing. Because he has children. He's going to have grandchildren if he doesn't already. And the other one, that was shocking to me. After that, she never spoke to me again.
When you said you didn't want nothing to do with it.
No, I'm not. Hey, listen, I'm with,
No, you're married.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really help you. Oh, but how do you know? Then she tried to flip it around. How do you know I was talking about that? Then she got, and then, okay, no, and then never heard from her. Yeah, never heard from her again. She's not my type of. She has a chipmunk face, and she's not. She's just no. No. But that's where it led to. So you see, we've spoken behind the scenes about all these corruption politics shows. There was a show with the presidency called Scandal. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yeah.
All that is true.
Yeah, it is
completely true. There's another councilman in Hialeah. He's a chronic alcoholic. He embarrassed himself, and they even put it on the news not too long ago. How do you have people like that leading? How? That's what I question. People. But here's the problem. There's 20% only or less that vote for those people to be there. They wine, dine, and charm these older people, and that's it.
Right. We need more people to vote. We need more people to get involved.
No, exactly. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to.
They're caring now because of the stuff they're seeing. Like Sweetwater right now, they're caring so much because of what happened to them. And I sat with them on Sunday, and there's 3 candidates that they're no politician strings with them. They're normal human beings. Like when I say normal, is that they're not politicians, and they're getting involved. But what's the beauty about them is that they're getting the community together. Like they want to do a fundraiser, doing barbecue.
Yeah.
They want everybody to get together because FIU is taking over Sweetwater. So it's very hard to find now apartments in Sweetwater because everything's so expensive.
You're right. Oh, Sweetwater. You're very big into Sweetwater.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And West Canton.
Sweetwater, I'm going to tell you now. My brother, Alex, I own a school with him in Sweetwater.
Oh.
Right across from Sweetwater Elementary, we have our school. WKF, World Keppel Karate Fitness.
Okay.
We've had it there for 20 years. So we do have a link to Sweetwater, even though we're from Hialeah. But that's pretty cool. Mercy, here's the thing. If I become mayor, I'm going to go back in time and figure out everything that used to work for Hialeah. I'm going to go into files. I'm going to go back there. I'm going to find what was going on with the parks at the time that it flourished. What was going on at the time with the city, because all this is recording. And I'm going to take that formula that worked back then so well and bring it to today. That's what I want to do. That's one of my plans.
Okay.
See, nobody thinks about that.
Yeah.
You got to go back sometimes. In martial arts, my dad and my instructors always told me, Manny, when you're lost, always go back to your basics. Go back to what worked for you. And that never failed me.
Right.
If I become mayor, I'm going to go back in time and figure this out. And everything that from the economy to the roads, to the people, to the parks, to the children, everything that worked back then, I will try to figure it out. That formula that they were using, I don't care if it was 40, 50 years ago, and bring it back. So we can have a Hialeah like it used to be. Because it was a lot better at one time than, then again, a lot of things were a lot better.
There's a lot of things you need to work on, my friend.
Hey, but I'm willing to do it for the people.
Right. I love that. So, thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely.
I know you're a busy person. You're always on social media. And I know you have the schools and you have your kids and you're disciplining the kids. I've been a single mom since I was 23 and I'm in my 40s. I'm not going to tell you exactly what age I am. But I do believe in sports and I do believe in activities for kids. My daughter, my oldest one, was a dancer since she was 3 and she's 23. She's the only one who's not doing drugs, who's the only one who's not pregnant and in school and is very into school.
That's awesome.
My little one was homeschooled. She was a gymnast, getting ready to become an Olympic winner, an Olympic team for the USA Gymnastics. And she's 21, is still in school, an amazing girl. Now is training little kids. Her passion now is training and open up her own gymnastics. So I believe in putting your kids in activities. So I love that part of you, that you are very into putting them in karate. You're with the kids because
that's our future.
It's our future, and it's an hour less being in the phones and being in social media. That's what I always tell everybody. Even if you can't afford an activity, take them to a park because it's an hour less they're in the phones. And these kids nowadays are very brainwashed with TikTok and YouTube. I love all that stuff.
Right.
I do know you have a social media. You have Instagram. We're gonna tag you in their Instagram. And you have what else? Social media?
I have TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
He's very active in social media, so if you have any questions, you can hit him up, and he answers really quick.
I want to do one last thing. Are we on camera?
Yes, we are.
All right, listen, real quick, Mercy. Man, I know you just met me not too long ago. I have seen what you're doing, and I respect it so much.
Thank you.
So much. I mean, that's why we get along. We got along so fast. We're both on the same page, and we're both building something. And today, I want to give you this medal of appreciation.
Oh my God, thank you.
Okay? There you go.
Thank you.
And keep doing what you're doing. I'm so
thank you so much.
Proud of you. Of course.
I'm not going to cry.
Hey, keep doing what you're doing, all right?
Thank you, I appreciate
Seriously,
it.
Just remember that. Because you're doing something big for her. You're leaving a legacy. You're leaving something.
Thank you.
At the end of the day, you try to do your best and leave something good. And I'm really proud of it. I've been liking all your...
Thank you so much.
That meant a lot to me to bring you on, to make sure that you are aware that we care about what you're doing and we're going to support you.
Thank you. Okay? Thank you. Likewise, thank you.